I've been on this fucking like push because I like a lot of crypto is we're crypto really, and where all the best information in crypto is it's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. It's on Twitter. You got YouTube. And that's about it. You have a little bit of stuff in. Used to have it on Reddit. It's kind of migrated onto Twitter, really. But I've been doing this huge push trying to get a lot of the crypto space onto Instagram, right? Because it was really just meeting you and getting and knowing Rolo and stuff. Because like just this year I started my Instagram, and I was like, God damn, dude, it's like wide open over here. Holy crap! Because I mean, I just completely ignored it because I was only going for information, and then I was like, holy crap! If we're gonna get the next group of people into the space, we need to be on Instagram. And on top of that, we've kind of already maxed out who we're going to interview already. So can you explain why Instagram's so important?
So one of the issues I think why a lot of people migrated away from it was because Facebook Ad Manager, which is Facebook Ad Manager does Facebook and Instagram, will not allow you to sell a crypto course. It won't allow you to do anything involved with crypto. By the way, it will not allow you to sell a dating course as well. They'll flag your content and then take it out, which is why you'll notice that my course is a networking course. It's a high status networking course. There's no dating involved. And even though I do teach some financial stuff, if you make any kind of financial promises, Facebook Ad Manager will not let you do it. So a lot of people moved over to Twitter. There's a couple of things that happen on Twitter also, is that there's a little bit of anonymity when it comes to Twitter that doesn't exist on Instagram. On Instagram, guys and women, men and women are generally trying to build status. So dudes are trying to pick up chicks, or girls are trying to show their bodies off, or whatever. In order to do that, you can't really be anonymous. And so you'll notice that the comments on Instagram are not as mean. They're never as mean. On Twitter, they come after my mom. They try to dox me. They sit there and tell me that I'm going to get like murdered, like all kinds of crazy stuff that happens on Twitter. And oh, by the way, on TikTok too. And the reason why is because on those platforms, people feel more comfortable being anonymous. Where it's the same thing on YouTube. But on Instagram, people don't feel as comfortable being anonymous. So a lot of people in crypto who do like to be anonymous, that's why they got into crypto, right? It's the anonymity. They don't feel comfortable being on a platform where people, know more about them. They don't trust Zuckerberg to begin with. They trust Elon a little bit more than Zuckerberg. And so that's the reason why I think that it's more of a wide open space. I had given up Twitter for dead because I throw parties. When I throw parties, the only way to get girls to come to a party, try me out on this. Try to get 100 girls to show up to a party from Twitter. Let me know how that works for you.
Is there 100 girls on Twitter?
Yeah, try to get 100 hot girls to show up to a party from TikTok. Try to get 100 girls to show up or any other way other than Instagram. Instagram is the #1 dating app in the world. And if you want to recruit girls to go to a bikini competition, a photo shoot, if you want to come to a charity event, whatever, the only way to do it is through Instagram. And so because of that, that's the reason why everybody's using Instagram right now for that kind of stuff. And so crypto isn't really heavy on there. It doesn't do as well. Unfortunately, what you will see though is a lot of guys will go on Instagram and then they'll buy a huge following. And that's always a bad idea because once you start taking steroids, you got to keep taking steroids to stay that big. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard.
Does it go away or something?
No, it's that what'll happen is after a while, you've got 8 million followers and you have to keep buying engagement in order to show the 22,000 likes, because as soon as you stop paying for engagement, then your engagement goes down to like 200 likes. So that's one of the issues that happens.
Right, and then then obviously you're fake.
A lot of guys did that, and because that's what they thought the best idea was to do, and it's really come back to hurt them later on, as far as that's concerned. And one of the ways you can tell, by the way, if anybody wants to know, go on Social Blade. You can check and see if and when people bought followers. That's the first thing. And secondly, you can go. What I like to do is I like to check a person's YouTube engagement and then compare it to their TikTok engagement, compare it to their Twitter engagement, and compare it to their Instagram engagement. I look at those 4 metrics. And another way it's really great, like when I look for guests, is I'll go and I'll look at Google search terms, right? If a guy claims to be famous and he's got 10 million followers on Instagram, the first thing I'm going to do is look up Google search terms to see, okay, does anyone search this guy? If no one searches this guy, he's got 10 million followers, he bought this shit. And then you're going to see lots of triple fire emojis, heart emojis in the comments, and that's what happens. I don't mind if a guy pays for a following. Just don't pay for a following and then not tell me so that I'm sitting there trying to have you on my show when you haven't built a following. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By the way, Brad Lee is one of the guys who were complaining to me about this. He kept having these, it was always like the 5th best real estate agent from Des Moines, Iowa. And he was like, who the fuck are these people coming on my show? They're not really helping my engagement whatsoever. And a lot of time we'll have a guy who'll come on and he'll try to come on and he'll have fake engagement. And I'm not mad at you for having fake engagement. My point is I'm not going to help you and you're not going to help me. We're just going to have a shitty fucking podcast because I don't pay for engagement. It's going to get 200 views. What was the point for either one of us?
Right. And his point is basically he's like, all right, I'm just grifting off of you. Cool, I can maybe get some real engagement off of your show. Basically.
Yeah, I mean the trick is to don't do that. Like I really think, do you really like? I don't care if somebody has cool concepts. I don't care how many followers they have. Some of the best some of the best Instagram accounts I've ever seen don't have 10,000 followers. Like they're really great because it's really hard to grow organically on Instagram. So let's all just play the same game.
No, that's what I respect about you because I've seen you do a bunch of shows of just guys. I found out quite a lot of shows just from. Shout out to all the bodybuilding content you've done on your.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But I've seen there's a lot of interesting people that I've met through your show that I'm like, holy crap, I wouldn't have never known about these people at all. But people don't play. This is the shit that really fucks with me is coming in because I was not on social media at all. I just had landscape business. I just kept to myself, investments myself, and that's it. But since I've had to make a business and I've had to be on camera, I'm like, all right, let me learn about this. And I kind of feel like this small town dude coming to the big city, and I'm like, everyone's a piece of fucking shit. Holy shit, dude! Like it's like I literally got told to my face so many times, like, hey man, I'll have you on. But like I typically don't have people on. You're a cool dude because I met you in person. It was kind of like weird. It's like you kind of meet people and you have to play like day game on them. Right?
So here's the trick. What I do is I have a panel live stream I do every other Monday.
Yeah.
And if a guy's not that big, I'm still going to have him. First of all, number one, I say no to. There's no one I say no to. I will go on anyone's show. Anyone who's watching this, call me out on this. I will go on if there's 500 people right now who want me to go on their show, I will do at least 30 minutes for all of you. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, if a guy is persistent, I put him on my Monday live streams. So we're on Zoom and then he can kind of pitch what he has to say if it's really interesting. I'm not interested in the 15th guy to try to tell me that clearly he made his money in solar and he's trying to buy his engagement. I don't hate you, bro, but I'm not interested in what you have to say. You think you're the next Andrew Tate, but you're not. You're just not that interesting, but you're sure you are because in the shower, your girlfriend that you pay for her entire life told you were fucking interesting. And so now we're going to go ahead and start your own. No, dude, I'm just like, it's no offense, but there's a bunch of guys out here that are doing this right now. And I'm like, dude, I think about how fucking hard I work. This is my 4th show today.
Yeah.
How hard I work to build any kind of following. Dude, you want to know something else? I pay a guy to remove 3,000 followers from my Instagram every month.
You were telling me about
from
that.
Nepal. I pay a guy, he removes 3,000. You're like, why the fuck would you do that? Any Cyrillic alphabet, any Portuguese, any Hindi, anyone from Jakarta, anyone from India, I have them remove those accounts. I have them remove the accounts. And the reason why is because what'll happen is, like, I think... so because of some people I've interviewed, some of their followers glom onto my account. You will get, by the way, if you have 10 million followers, some of them are going to be fake. There's no way to stop that. There's no way to stop it. But I'm at 110,000, so I can still remove enough to where I can make my engagement realer. But I'm gaining some and I'm losing some. And what I would like is for a 100%. I would rather have 40,000 followers who all engage than 110,000 and only have 40,000 engaged, because it hurts your engagement overall. Because Instagram is going to show your content to 2% of your followers. Well, if 2% of your followers includes people who live in Rio de Janeiro and Jakarta and they don't even speak English, they're not going to engage with your shit, and you're just losing impressions. I would rather have my impressions goes to people who are zealots of my content. I would rather, like, if I had an account that had 10 million followers and I knew most of them were fake, I would just delete the account. I would start over from zero and just do a bunch of collabs to boost my account up. Or another thing you could do is go on Facebook Ad Manager and just run ads to go back to your account, which is what, Ty Lopez did, something like that. And that's another way to get legitimate followers to your account. There's better ways to do it than to pay some guy who lives out. Again, I keep saying Jakarta because Jakarta and Tehran, Iran are the #1 places for click farms on this planet. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, find the hottest girl you know. I say, hey, can I look at your engagement? Go to her engagement, go to her dashboard, and it's going to show where her audience is. And I promise you, it's going to say United States, and then it's going to say Tehran and India. I promise you it will. It's going to say Tehran or it's going to say Indonesia. That's always what it says.
So these chicks, even the chicks are buying engagement.
Yo, a lot of chicks are buying engagement. You'll see that now because what they'll do is that because they know they're losing engagement, they'll post a photo and then they'll turn it off where you can't see how many likes they get. They'll do that, but you can't do it on Reels, but you can do it on photos.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic. Like, it's been an awesome thing watching because I still get so much engagement. I was showing this to Dan Fleshman the other day.
Okay.
And me and Dan were talking, and I was getting I get about 70,000 likes a month on my IG, and then I got 33,000 shares. Right. And he was like, that's impossible. Like, how do you get so many shares? Because I have polarizing content where I don't get a ton of likes. A lot of people don't like me, but they'll still share my shit.
Right.
And so and then the sharing then leads people back to my account, and then they go to the link in bio, which leads them down my funnel for moamentoring.com. Right. And that's how we end up we had our first month last week. My partners don't want me to say how much money we make because we're making so much money. They don't want me to say how much money we're making. But the way we do that is through following other people on how they build their engagement, except I focus a little bit more on organic. Like I try to do almost exactly what Alex Hormozy talks about in $100 million offer and $100 million leads. I'm almost done with $100 million leads. I bought it yesterday. But like that's what I try to do in order to build the business. and I want to do it organically, and I don't give a fuck if someone's like, well, I have 10 million followers and you only have 100,000, you're a loser. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. The interesting people are, you're either interesting or you have a legitimate following. One of those two things, I'm going to have you on my show. If you're neither one of those things, like I would have a physicist on in 2 seconds. I don't care if he has no Instagram. If he's a legit physicist and we can have discussions about that, those 3 guys who went in front of Congress and made up all that bullshit about aliens, I would love to have a conversation about that. That would be really interesting to me. So that's essentially, that's what I do. So I don't have a problem with people buying fake, buying engagement. What's his face? Clever Investor. You know who he is?
Yes.
He straight up went on he was at Elevator Nights and straight up said, I bought my following, all of it was fake, and I made a fucking ton of money from it, and go for it, bro. I have no problem with that because he admits it. I don't have any issue with that.